for most of the people in India, Kalmykia is only known as the biggest Buddhist center in Europe. But we will introduce you the other aspects of Kalmykian cultural and natural beauty. And I'm sure sometimes you will get surprised and sometimes it will move you. So please be with us on this interesting journey of Kalmykia.
In the heart of southern Russia lies Kalmykia, a land of endless grasslands, golden domes, and deep faith. Here, for the first time in history, the holy relics of Lord Buddha arrived from India, carrying a message of peace, compassion, and friendship. A high-level Indian delegation led by the Deputy Chief Minister of Uttar Pradesh arrived in Elista, the spiritual heart of Kalmykia. As the sacred relics of Lord Buddha touched the soil, an air of reverence spread across the city. The governor of Kalmykia, accompanied by his ministers and senior monks, extended a heartfelt welcome to the Indian delegation. The welcome was grand, steeped in devotion and warmth. Thousands of people gathered on both sides of the road, their faces lit with emotion and joy. With folded hands, prayers, and chants of peace, the citizens of Kalmykia greeted the sacred relics, a moment that turned the street of Elista into a living prayer. The ceremonial motor cart carrying the relic moved slowly towards the magnificent golden abode of Shakyamuni Buddha, the largest Buddhist temple in Europe. Every turn of the road was lined with people, monks, children, elders, all united in devotion. The journey from the airport to the monastery became a sacred procession, a meeting of two nations, two faiths, and one timeless message of peace.
हमें जो भव्य स्वागत मिला है उससे हम अत्यंत आनंदित हैं। कलमिकिया के लोग बहुत ही दिलदोज़ी और स्नेह से भरे हैं और मुझे लगता है कि इसका एक बड़ा कारण है कि आप बौद्ध धर्म के शाश्वत सिद्धांतों का पालन करते हैं, करुणा और बुद्धिमत्ता का सिद्धांत।
The Indian delegation has presented the sacred 108-volume Mongolian Kanjur to Kecheneri Khuruls and other monasteries of Kalmykia. The scriptures represents the spoken words of Lord Buddha, a timeless spiritual bridge between India and Russia. The event was organized by the Ministry of Culture, Government of India, in association with the International Buddhist Confederation and National Museum.
This is a very joyous moment for the Government of India, for the Ministry of Culture and for the National Museum, that the relics of the Buddha, the Bhagwan Buddha, are going for the first time to Russia. In the past, we have had expositions in Thailand and in Vietnam, where the response of the people, their faith and their faith towards the Bhagwan Buddha is is to be seen, to be believed.
This is a very great venture that we have done, because Kalmykia is a place where Buddhists have existed for several centuries, and they are far off from India and they cannot travel to India very often. Very few students from here go to India to study, but they come back with a lot of fond memories about Buddha Dhamma, Buddhism, the Buddhist places of worship in India. So for us to bring the holy relics here to this place is a great achievement, and I think for the people of Kalmykia, there cannot be anything better than this, because in Buddhist countries, when the holy relic comes to a particular country, the people of that country consider the holy relics as the Buddha himself.
More than 100,000 devotees visited the relics exposition, a week-long spiritual celebration that turned Elista in Russia into a hub of global Buddhist faith. The exposition strengthened people-to-people ties and laid the foundation for a deeper cultural cooperation between India and Kalmykia. In April 2026, Kalmykia will host an Indian festival as part of the 80th anniversary of India-Russia diplomatic relations.
We are standing outside the Golden Temple of Elista, and as you can see behind me, there is lots of queues. People are waiting from hours and hours, and it's a cold weather. Even then they are standing here, and they just only want to have a glimpses of the holy relics have come from India, which has been displayed here from 11th October to 18th October, and people are so emotional, so feeling so gratitude about the government of India for this initiative. We are trying to talk to some people that how they are feeling about this important and the significant event. What is your name, and how long you have waited here?
My name is Mazan, and I've been waiting here for like 4, maybe 5 hours. So we've been there's a big line from almost the night. People have been gathering to visit there's the word Russian Moshi of Buddha Shakyamuni. So yeah, people are very excited, and I am too.
And because the relics has come from India, so what is the feeling about India here in the people, and even in the young generation, what they are feeling?
It's very positive, actually. I was interacting a lot with Rinpoches from India, and I've been translating them for people, for my family, and it's very interesting to know the story. There's one Rinpoche that was trying to teach me some Hindi. It's a little tough, but yeah, I'm getting it.
So you are trying to learn a little bit Hindi also?
Yes, because it's the origin of Buddhism. It's more like it's the origin of Buddhism, but here it's more like Tibetan Buddhism. Yeah, it's all close.
I'm very excited. I'm very glad to be here too. Yes, and glad to see you, Indian people, because from the very childhood we have seen a lot of Indian films. They were very popular. There were such queues when there were Indian films. Yes, and nowadays when I see that we are becoming closer with Indian people, I'm glad. Yes, it's very interesting that we have the common belief. Yes, Buddhists. We are Buddhists. Yes, and our Kalmyk people, young people, go to India to study Buddhism.
For the monks of Kalmykia, this was not merely an event, but a homecoming of faith, a reconnection with the land of Buddha's birth.
We are very happy about the arrival of relics, as this has happened for the first time. We are deeply grateful to the Government of India, our own government, and everyone who helped organize the arrival of these sacred relics. After the presence of such holy relics, I believe the faithful will be truly inspired. They are overjoyed to have this rare opportunity in their lifetime.
Никогда не умел выражать The Kangyur is the primary Buddhist canon. It contains the words of the Buddha Shakyamuni. Kalmyk is part of the Mongolic language group, and for us, studying the Buddha's words in Mongolian is the most accessible and effective way to truly grasp the depth of his teachings. Our language is very similar to Mongolian, thanks to the Government of India and the efforts of the National Mission for Manuscripts under the Ministry of Culture and the organization Gyan Barga. Thanks to the hard work of many people, this is a major step in the preservation and growth of Buddhism in Kalmykia, and for this, we are sincerely grateful to our Indian brothers and sisters.
In every chant and every folded hands, there was gratitude to India, to the Lord Buddha, and to the eternal values that unite humanity.
उसमें जो बुजुर्ग लोग ज़्यादा थे.
There was a time when Buddhism was on the verge of extinction. However, the elders of that time cherished this ancient tradition, which continues to this day. They kept this faith alive among the people, and those who still have faith in the religion come here today. Seeing people from far and wide come here with devotion, I am very pleased to see that this tradition has not yet disappeared.
स्ट्रक्चर है, मंदिर है, ये सब तो लुप्त हो गया था, मगर लोगों में आस्था जीवित था.
Diplomacy found a new language here, the language of shared spirituality.
There is no doubt that we have large-scale plans for our future collaborations because they are based on our spiritual connection. If we talk about the nearest future, in April next year, Tulip Festival will be celebrated in Kalmykia, and on this occasion we also want to organize the Days of Indian Culture. So our plans for cooperation are big, and there are other fields for our future shared goals, including sectors of agriculture, construction, education, IT, oil fields, and many other aspects. As you can see, the prospects for cooperation are really wide, and we just need to work to achieve these goals step by step.
One of the important dimensions of that cultural connect, people-to-people relationship, is Buddhism. There are three provinces in Russia, Kalmykia, where we are sitting, Buryatia and Tuva, where majority population follows Buddhism. It was at the request of this population that Governor of Kalmykia visited in India earlier this year and made the official request for display of holy relics of Lord Buddha in Kalmykia. So it is adding to this existing people-to-people connect and bringing the spiritual dimension of our relationship in sharp focus.
The governor of Kalmykia announced future cooperation in tourism, education, research and development, and agriculture sector. A vision of faith-based diplomacy rooted in people's connections. Beyond temples and ceremonies lies another Kalmykia, a land where nature itself meditates. The endless steppe stretches into the horizon, home to the double-humped Bactrian camel, nomadic traditions and the quiet rhythm of life.
We are standing in a old traditional home of the Kalmykian people, which is called Yurt, and as you can see, the construction material of this house is very unique. It has made with the special kind of wood and the sheep skin, because that is very important to survive in extreme kind of climate here. The people of Kalmykia use different kind of animals' skin to protect themselves from the weather conditions here.
В центре юрты разжигали костер.
About this national house, which is called yurt. Actually, this yurt is used for Kalmyk people as nomad people. They had to transfer from place to place to travel through among steppes. And this Kalmyk house is divided into two parts: the women's part, the woman part for the women and part for males. And in the center of this house there was a fireplace for women to cook and to boil Kalmyk tea. And this place, we are here on this place as Camel Island. This is a touristic place where they have some camels, and Kalmyk people used to have camels as cattle for transportation.
In a humble yurt, time stands still. These circular homes, warm, simple and welcoming, are symbols of harmony between human and nature. The people of Kalmykia, though located far away from India, share the same value: family, simplicity and respect for life. Music and dance became the language of unity. The cultural evening in Elista celebrated the shared heritage of India and Kalmykia. Two ancient civilizations bond by art, empathy and joy. And it reflects how Kalmykia has protected its nomadic culture beautifully.
Throat singing is a very important part in Kalmykian art. There are 5,000, 10,000, 20,000 types imitation of animals. For example, Saiga antelope are trying to make the predator feel scared of the sound. The imitation of 1,000 animal voices is scaring the wolf. A predator is looking at Saiga, but hear a lot of voices behind the Saiga. And the predator is scared. It goes away from the Saiga. And a little Saiga feels very confident after the meeting with the wolf.
Ну, это уже наша родная калмыцкая дамбра, исконно калмыцкий инструмент.
Kalmyk national instrument Dambra.
Перед вами это концертный вариант.
This model is used for concerts.
Струны у нас раньше производили из
These strings used to make from sheep inners, but now, of course, it's made from plastic.
Elista has a very beautiful architecture. Wide roads are here and the city is very peaceful and calm. We have seen everywhere the cleanliness, and people here are very cooperative. Elista, also known as the city of chess, is a symbol of intellect and creativity in the heart of Kalmykia. Built in 1998, this beautiful complex has hosted World Chess Championship and Olympiads. With its
elegant architecture, sculptures, and calm surroundings, Elista continues to celebrate the spirit of strategy, culture, and friendship. As part of the sacred exposition, an exhibition on the life and message of Lord Buddha was organized by India at the National Museum of Kalmykia. Through rare photographs, manuscripts, and art, the display narrated the timeless journey of the Buddha, from enlightenment to compassion, from India to the world. Later, the Indian delegation visited the Kalmyk State University, with pride of the region and center of learning for nearly 8,000 students. In an inspiring interaction, the delegation encouraged young scholars to embrace the noble ideas of Lord Buddha: compassion, understanding, and balance in life.
आज यहाँ आने पे इस म्यूजियम को देखने के बाद ये ध्यान में आया कि कलमिकिया के लोग अपने इतिहास को लेकर के भी, अपने वर्तमान को लेकर के भी, अपने भविष्य को लेकर के भी बहुत जागरूक रहते हैं, बहुत सजग रहते हैं। इसके लिए इनको बधाई भी देता हूँ और ये म्यूजियम का जो आकार है और इसको विस्तार दिया जाए, ऐसा इनको अपनी तरफ से सुझाव भी देता हूँ।
After days of prayers, devotion, and spiritual unity, the time arrived for the holy relics of Lord Buddha to begin their journey back to India. The farewell ceremony in Elista was both solemn and deeply moving, a moment of gratitude, reverence, and shared faith. A high-level Indian delegation led by Lieutenant Governor of Jammu and Kashmir, Shri Manoj Sinha, arrived in Kalmykia to receive the relics. Speaking at the farewell, Shri Sinha said that the teachings of the Buddha transcends boundaries, guiding humanity towards compassion, peace, and understanding.
सुबह स्टेट अफेयर के साथ मीटिंग में मुझे ये जानकारी मिली कि हर पांचवां नागरिक यहाँ का वो होली रिलिक्स को देखने गया है। तो मुझे लगता है कि एक तो रूस और भारत का संबंध बड़ा ही पुराना है, प्राचीन काल से। मैंने इसको दोहराया भी था कि रूसी हिंदी भाई भाई ये नारा हम लोग बचपन से सुनते थे, लेकिन आज यहाँ देखने के बाद मुझे लग रहा है कि इस प्रांत में विशेष रूप से भगवान बुद्ध को लेकर के और भारत को लेकर के लोगों के मन में जो आदर भाव है वो निश्चित रूप से सराहनीय, और भारत सरकार ने बहुत सोच समझ करके एक कदम उठाया। इससे आने वाले दिनों में भारत कलमीनिया और रूस के संबंध और प्रगाढ़ होंगे।
The holy relics of Lord Buddha begin their journey back to India. Aboard a special aircraft of the Indian Air Force, the Ilyushin 76. The journey ends here, only to begin again, in friendship, in faith, and in the eternal spirit of peace. As we approach 80 years of diplomatic relations between India and Russia next year, this sacred journey becomes a poetic reminder that our ties are not only political or strategic, but spiritual and cultural, rooted in the values of peace and compassion.